Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. Head football coach Scott Frost met with the media today. It was National Signing Day, Part 2, and the Huskers added a high school running back and a wide receiver to the class. Frost is pleased with all the work that has been done within the program over the last 2 months.
We've had a lot of changes, obviously, a lot of new faces in the building. It's kind of exciting with the new coaches we have in the building, the new players we have in the building. It has a little different feel. We've been getting back to work as a football team and had the guys in the weight room and on the field running a little bit. Excited about that too. It seems to be some energy injected into everything we're doing because of some of the new faces. Recruiting's changed and we signed a lot of the pieces that we needed in the early signing, but we have a lot of additions today and 2 new freshmen that signed with us today. So we feel like we're putting some pieces together that are going to fit well with the team we already have and give us a chance to work with them and try to get better. So we're excited about it.
We're going to hear more from the head coach during this hour of Sports Nightly. The tough stretch for Husker basketball continued last night with the Big Red dropping an 85-79 decision to Michigan in Ann Arbor. The Huskers led for much of the game again, but remain winless in the league. Huskers back on the hardwood Saturday at home versus Northwestern. Tip-off at PBA set for noon. Tonight in college basketball, number 4 Purdue leads Minnesota 12-5 early in that game. And later in the Big Ten, a battle for first place. Number 11 Wisconsin is at number 18 Illinois. On the top 25 scoreboard, number 5 Kentucky hosting Vanderbilt. Early on, it's the Commodores 4-3. 21st ranked Xavier will host Butler. That's also about to get underway. Later tonight, number 6 Houston entertains Tulane, and a good one in the Big East with number 24 Marquette entertaining the 12th ranked Villanova Wildcats. Today, the Big Ten Conference, along with the ACC and Pac-12, announced plans to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX through a campaign entitled Celebrating 50 Years of Title IX Together. The announcement coincides with National Girls and Women in Sports Day. You're going to hear more about that in Hour 2 of tonight's show. That's the Ticker. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound Widener. Huskers 5-point lead in the ball. Widener right down the middle of the lane, running one hand. Baker good. Allison Widener. Stand up, Humphrey, Nebraska. She's got 7.
Tries to jam it. Shot is blocked by Trey McGowan's. Run down by Webster. What a defensive play. Here comes Trey. Webster. Trey McGowan's to Bryce McGowan's. The drive. Puts it up and in. Holy cow. The offensive play of the year for Nebraska.
Trapped in the deep right corner. Bounces
Great
back
pass.
up. Moriarty scores off the assist from Monica Stewart, and another timeout by Wisconsin.
Great activity by Kendall Moriarty.
And the return pass on the give and go. The skip pass, deep right corner, 3 on the way. Trey got it down. The Tracer with a tray.
Markowski for 3, and Alexis Freakowski. Another Freakowski for Alexis.
That, she hardly looked.
Holy cow.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you and welcome to Sports Nightly here on National Signing Day Part 2. Boy, this used to be the day for college football recruiting, but boy, the early period has taken a lot of the juice out of it. But Jessica, it was a good day for Scott Frost and the Huskers. They had 2 4-star commitments and signees to the class today. It was a good day.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And, flipping a couple of guys from a couple other places that they had been committed. And, we're going to hear from Coach Frost, I'm sure, talking about how they wanted to add another running back to that room and kind of build the depth there. And I think a couple of good skill guys that Mark Whipple will be able to work with and be some good weapons for this offense.
Well, you and I have talked in the last couple of weeks about the depth and how much we like the running back room. Well, they get A.J. Allen today to add to that. He had been a TCU commit. Coach Applewhite was at TCU. Scott Frost gets him to come to Lincoln to be a part of this staff, and he gets A.J. to flip. This is a young guy from Monroe, Louisiana. Man, that's going to be a fight in that room to get on the field and get carries.
No doubt. I mean, you got to think maybe, again, there might be some shakeup. Maybe some guys might transfer. We saw a couple last in the after the season, but maybe that's a room that might see. I don't know. I'm just saying, if it kind of depending on the spring, we've speculated a lot that there's across college football after spring football, we might see this all over again, the transfer portal and whatnot. But I always think it's good to have a lot of different options in the running back room. We saw it last year. We needed depth, and we thought that was a deep spot last year. And even towards the end,
you're
kind of
Brody
hurting.
Belt.
Yeah, so you were hurting in that depth department. So in the Big Ten, it's a beating. You got to have multiple guys. And I just also think with this offense, giving some different looks, some running backs that can do different things. And I think there's a lot of different guys that have a lot of different skill sets in that room.
And hey, Brody, if you're listening, I love you. You did a great job, and he'll be in there fighting as well. But that's with AJ becomes the third running back in this class, the junior college addition to the class. We're going to hear Anthony Grant is his name. We're going to hear Scott Frost talk about him here in a little bit. And then Emmett Johnson from Minnesota, who signed in December, who's not here for the spring, but a really impressive guy, at least to talk to.
Absolutely. I mean, he's so smart and cerebral and is going to do all the right things and make sure that he's taking care of his business, even though he's not here yet. So it's a lot of times it's guys, what kind of work are you going to put in outside of just showing up to the practice field? There's a lot that goes into right now, what's happening now, in the off-season workouts in the weight room. But then for these freshmen that are not here yet, what are you doing to get yourself right without, being necessarily in a weight room every single day with a college team? With Emmett, he's playing basketball. And I don't know if you saw him hit a three-quarter length shot the other day.
Did he?
From like the free throw line on the opposite side of the court, he at the buzzer. So I mean, he's a really good basketball player, which is always good to have multiple sports that you play. We hear that a lot. But what are these freshmen doing to study the playbook? Like we heard DeColdest Crawford talk about, he's going to dive into the playbook. So what are you doing before you get here? And for the guys that are here, what are you doing to set yourself up to be ready for spring ball and to kind of make a name for yourself out there?
That's going to be a fascinating group to follow in the spring. What happens with that group? And AJ and Emmett, the two true freshmen, will join the mix in June when they get here after their high school seniors seasons. And so you would think probably would redshirt, but it's not dead set. So we'll see. But I love what they've done with that room. And Coach Applewhite was a big part of getting AJ to flip from TCU to Nebraska
nickname?
Today.
Quick Six.
How about that? Love it.
I was reading an article, an opposing high school coach that was preparing to play him in one of the games late in the season, a playoff. And he said, he's tough to get down. We're going to have to gang tackle him because if he breaks away, we will not be able to catch him.
Fantastic.
So he is a fast guy at that. And I also like his story because he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder because he's not a guy that was, highly recruited. He was a backup his junior year of high school. So he really just broke out onto the scene his senior year. So a lot of times guys like that develop late come in with a chip on their shoulder. They want to continue to prove themselves because they weren't necessarily seen as a high recruit, their entire high school career. AJ
made his announcement at school this morning about 9 o'clock our time. So it was one of those hat ceremonies that we've all come to love, sort of, at his school earlier this morning. And then 2 hours later on ESPN, on their college football coverage, Janaron Bonner picked Nebraska. He was a wide receiver from the Atlanta area, 6'3", 197, had been committed to Georgia Tech. So on national TV, he's putting the N on.
Love it.
And that was a great boost for Nebraska. There's a 4-star wide receiver coming in.
That's huge to get that kind of publicity on a national show like that, and that kind of publicity. But I think he walked in. He was Georgia Tech commit from Georgia. That's big to get those kids that are committed to in-state schools to flip late like that. And I was reading an article in a local paper that said a lot of those people that went to his signing day ceremony all thought he was about to put on a Georgia Tech hat. And then last minute he puts on the Nebraska hat. So it was kind of a roar in the crowd. But yeah, again, great. Two really good gets, and reading up on what kind of he's going to bring to the table. Explosive playmaker on the perimeter. That's kind of, we've seen some guys that have been brought in that are more maybe slot type of guys, maybe on the inside, but having a guy, he's big, almost 6'2", 193, so a big guy that you can put on the outside. And Casey Thompson, if that's him, likes to throw the ball deep.
That's right. And Coach Frost said Kudos to Mickey Joseph, who really helped get this flip, and Sean Beckton, who works that Atlanta area and has got great connections down there for the Huskers. So those two coaches were singled out by the head coach during the press conference today. So Bonner joins DeColdis Crawford, who Jessica talked to a few weeks ago in this class from that position, and Victor Jones, who had been a longtime commit for Nebraska. So they've added 3 high school wide receivers to this group, and obviously through the transfer portal they've added a couple of wide receivers in this batch as well. That room also is going to be extremely competitive.
Yeah, absolutely loaded. I mean, there's some, and again, a lot of different dynamic playmakers, and I think the big question in that room for me is going to be who's going to emerge as the leader, because Samori Toure was that guy. I mean, even though he was only here for a year and not even a full year, you know, the way that he stepped in and really was a leader in that room and kind of helped guys along, who's going to step up and be that leader for that group, because they need someone to be the leader of that group.
Yeah, and I don't know. Could it be Oliver Martin? Maybe. You're going to have to just stay tuned to see where that goes with that group. It's happening, I think, some now during the winter conditioning, and it will happen more in spring practice. And by the way, that starts February 28th. So here we are on the 2nd of February. You're talking 26 days away from spring practice beginning for this football team. So a lot of cuts coming up here from the head coach, who covered a wide, and I mean a wide variety of topics today.
You said there were, what, like 35 minutes or something?
38 questions, Andrew?
38 questions
that he got today. So a long time. We'll play some of the highlights for you coming up here in just a little bit. Had this in the ticker, Jessica. What a good effort by Nebraska, and I know people may be tired of hearing that. They want wins. We all do. The team does. The coaches do. But I don't think you can deny that Husker basketball is playing better basketball. They just can't quite get over the hump.
I absolutely agree. And, you know, I'm with you. People are probably not wanting to hear this, but that is an improving basketball team. I mean, you can't watch them and not see that they are making strides and they are playing better basketball and they're giving themselves a chance to win. And we're hearing night in and night out from opposing coaches, from the commentators, the broadcasters, that this is going to be a team that's going to knock off somebody that, quote unquote, they're not supposed to. But I think as much as it's got to be, you would think that, you know, the losses would kind of be a downer for this team. I think it's a team that's getting more confident as they go, especially Bryce McGowan's. Like, every time he steps out onto the court, he seems to be more and more confident. He's taking over games. I mean, he's unguardable at times. He's such a matchup problem with his size and his quickness, and then he can also, you know, stretch the floor and shoot it from deep. So we're seeing all those different tools now that we had heard a lot about, but maybe just took a while for him to get going and to figure out how to play at this level. And with this type of physicality, he's getting stronger, and he's just figuring out how to play at this level, and he's getting better and better every time out.
Next 2 games are at home, Northwestern, Minnesota. It's going to happen.
I agree. I'm with you.
They're going to get one or both of those games. Mark it down right there. I'm going out on a limb for that. Saturday at noon for the men's next game. The women continue to roll through this stretch where we thought they could really get healthy. Last night was not a pretty game. It was not a game that they'll hang in the Louvre or the University of Nebraska Art Museum. It wasn't a pretty game, but Rutgers mucked it up, played pretty good defense. To their credit, they're a good athletic team that plays defense. Nebraska didn't make a lot of shots. Doesn't matter. It's a win.
Yeah, find a way to win. That's the big thing. Protect the home court is so important in these things. And, you know, you still some on the road, protect the home court.
Yep.
That's what they did. They protected the home court. And, you know, I was listening to the broadcast, and Coatney and Greash were saying how it was pretty dead in the arena, too. So maybe it was just kind of a you know, blah type of night where, you know, couldn't necessarily get up. But in those types of situations, you got to create your own energy. And so, you know, it's been such a great crowd, and, you know, with these late night tip-offs and having so many in a row, and the men playing at the same time. And so hopefully tomorrow night, you know, it'll be more of a rowdy crowd, but they've got to learn to do that anyways. You know, you've got to learn to create your own energy and not rely on the crowd to do that for you every night.
You worry a little bit, and I do too. Even though this is a deep team. That was the 3rd game in 5 days. Tomorrow night they play again with Penn State. That'll be the 4th game in 8 days. You hope the legs aren't going a little bit, but I think Coach Williams and her staff have done a great job of spreading those minutes out where nobody really should be getting taxed by how many minutes they're playing.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's why it was so important what she was doing in the non-conference, spreading those minutes around. And we were seeing a lot of substitutions, and she was doing a lot of line changes. And, that experience is paying off now because
Right.
you're able to call on Allison Widener off the bench and Kendall Moriarty, and they're providing you big minutes as freshmen in Big Ten play. I mean, a lot of times freshmen, don't necessarily adjust well to getting into Big Ten play and the physicality of it. And so the fact that these freshmen are able to, step right in and provide that depth. And I think you get through tomorrow, maybe get a little bit of a breather, and then I know you go on the road and you have a couple of tough games, but protect home court tomorrow, and then you can, breathe, relax, reset for a minute, and then get right back to it.
Don't play again after tomorrow till Sunday, so they'll have a couple of days to prep for Maryland. And you're right, it's 3 straight road games next week: Maryland, Ohio State, and Illinois, the makeup game that they missed because of the COVID delay in there in 10 games. But it's a win. 16-4 sounds great to me. And tomorrow night
Me
they'll go
too.
after win number 17 against Penn State. All right, that's what we have on the program tonight. A lot coming your way from the head football coach. First time that he's talked since he'd been on Sports Nightly back on December the 16th today. A lot to cover. We'll play you some of the highlights of that coming up here in just a little bit. You want to be a part of the program? Our numbers, 402-413-2400. That works with a call. That works with a text as well. The call would be on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. More of the show coming up next.
You could win a 2022 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2022 Porsche Macan if they make a putt on the court at halftime at one of 4 home men's basketball games this season. Each contestant will receive a pair of tickets, hospitality, and a visit with the broadcast team before one of the home games with Ohio State, Rutgers, Northwestern, or Iowa. For more information and the official rules, go to huskers.com/putt.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a frosty Wednesday night. It's cold out there. That wind today is that's serious stuff out there.
It is so cold, and I feel like it just came quickly. Like, that's the thing, is I'm not even able to prepare for it because it's going up and down so quickly. But I loved who was it that I said? Sean Hardy said, living in Nebraska has taught me that 1 degree with no wind is way better than 30 with wind.
He's got it.
And he's got 342 retweets and over 7,500 likes on that tweet.
Isn't that great? I was going to wear my hoodie tonight. Andrew said, no, take it off. So I was going to put it on put it up on there. It's cold. All right, head football coach Scott Frost met with the media today. He even kind of joked when he started. He said, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you guys. The last time he talked publicly was on Sports Nightly back on December the 16th. So here we are on, by the way, 2/2/22. Did you know that?
Yes, yeah.
Today's 2/2/22.
So I've been putting in dates today for videos.
How about that? So he talked about the quarterbacks. I know everybody wants to hear about the quarterbacks. He talked about adding not 1 but 2 through the transfer portal.
We usually carry 5 SAM scholarship guys. We were down to 3 returning. So we felt like we needed to get the numbers back up. Looking forward to some competition at some of these positions, and that being one of them. But there's a lot of new faces and new additions that are going to be able to compete with our guys and push them. We're going to let the best man win, but we felt like in order to get that position back to where it should be, that maybe adding 2, and if we could find the 2 right ones, that we wanted them.
I mean, Jessica, 5's not really that's not overboard. I mean, you have Logan, you have Heinrich, who redshirted this past year, and then you have Richard Torres, who signed, he's right out of high school. So adding 2 kind of makes sense, I think.
I mean, I said it last night that I figured that's what he would say, that it's going to be an open competition. But it's what you want. You want to have guys competing. And here's the thing is, say it's Casey Thompson, right? He's coming in and he's had a lot of experience. What if he explodes and has a really great year and then he gets drafted? You want to have a guy that you can continue to build through this offense. A lot of times that's what's so important about redshirting and having guys not start right away is you kind of learn the offense and you kind of grow and you learn behind some of these guys that have a lot of experience so that you're ready to step right in and your offense doesn't miss a beat. So it's good to kind of build that depth and to stagger. That's the big thing, is staggering the ages a little bit so that you can, carry right on. When one guy leaves, you can move on and have some guy step in.
And there is a gap between Chubba and Casey.
Right.
And Logan.
Yeah.
And Casey. There's a gap in there.
Yep.
And injuries are, as we know, a huge part of it. Casey Thompson, that's what I think everyone feels like he will be the starter. The coach is not going to tip that off at this point in time, but he was asked specifically, tell me what you liked about Casey Thompson.
First of all, his dad's an option quarterback, and I have a soft spot in my heart for Tommy Frazier and Eric Crouch and Turner Gill and Dee Dowis and even Mickey Joseph. It's a dying fraternity, but I got to see his dad the other day, and it was great to see and talk a little football with him. The biggest thing I've noticed so far, we haven't gotten a chance to see him do much with the football or anything, but the biggest thing I notice already is just the leadership coming from those guys and the energy coming from those guys, and that's what a quarterback's supposed to do, supposed to pick up the level of play from everybody around him. And that's tough to do in your first week on campus or your first 2 weeks on campus, but he's doing it. Look forward to working with him, have Coach Whipple work with him. Same with Chubba has been doing a great job with that too, along with the other quarterbacks. But we need leadership from that position, and we need a guy that's going to say, hey, get behind me, we're going to go win this thing, and I'm going to lead you there. And you get that feel from those guys.
He's also coming in, and Chubba is too, behind a guy that was popular. Adrian was really popular among his teammates.
Yeah, no doubt. And, the thing going back to, competing and winning the job and earning it, Casey comes from a line of quarterbacks. You just heard Scott talking about his dad. His brother was a Division I quarterback. He was raised in a way he knows what it takes to how to manage a team and be in that position and what all goes into it besides just throwing the football. Well, there's a lot of different elements to it, and he knows that just things being just given to him is not going to help him earn, the trust and respect of this team. That's how you get guys that want to go to battle with you, that are going to come up big play after big play for you when you're, throwing the ball downfield in a big situation. You got to earn it. And so I guarantee you, I haven't talked to Casey yet, but I guarantee you he doesn't want anything handed to him. He wants to go in and battle and earn it, because that's how you grow and develop those relationships so that you can rely on those guys in the heat of the moment in a big time play situation.
And he's earning that respect in the weight room.
Absolutely.
We talked about him taking the guys out for bowling and dinner. That's one thing. But you got to show them your work ethic in the weight room. You got to show them when you're running sprints and conditioning or whatever it is.
Got to call them up to go throw some extra passes in the indoor, all of the above. Yeah.
All of that. All right. Not only is the coach, remaking this team with a new quarterback, but he remade the staff, particularly the offensive staff. Mark Whipple is now the OC, and Scott Frost has said he's handing the keys of that to Whipple, who's a veteran coach, did a great job with the Pitt Panthers this past year, had a guy who made it to the Heisman ceremony in New York as his quarterback. Here he is talking about Whipple and the coaching standard that he brings with him to Lincoln.
It's been interesting with guys coming from different places. The staff that we had been together so long that we all spoke the same language, knew the same things. That was good from a continuity standpoint. Maybe not great from a fresh idea standpoint. And now it's kind of flipped. We have a lot of fresh ideas and a little bit of a language barrier. But we've been meeting a lot. Gosh, there's smart guys in that room and good coaches in that room. We've been, like I said, going into the hiring, we've been trying to marry the systems, and I think done a good job of that so far, trying to keep as much in our language as we can, but getting to the schemes that we agree on and Coach Whipple wants to run. So it's been fun to be in a room with guys coming from different places with a little different slant on things and trying to put it all together.
You're blending a lot of different personalities in there. Whipple, Joseph, Applewhite, those are all new voices in a room.
Yeah, but it's got to be fun because, all guys that have had success with offenses and probably are eager to hear what, everyone else has to learn. I'll never forget Shane Beamer, who's now the head coach at South Carolina, talking with him and how, his dad obviously is a well-known coach and told him that you need to kind of explore and get to know different coaches and different systems because you find what works best. And so, you get into a room with a bunch of offensive minds and you feed off of each other and you throw out all these different ideas. You never know what can come of it. So with all these different offensive minds, they're probably coming up with some good stuff in there.
I would think. Everybody's so intrigued by Mark Whipple. Here's the coach talking more about his new OC.
You'll get to know Whip, so I don't want to describe his personality for you, but man, he's smart and sharp. Knows what he wants, knows what he does, and if you're going to be in charge and take something over, you got to be really confident. Coaching's pretty simple, really. At the end of the day, you make relationships with kids so they trust you, and if you know what you're talking about and can communicate it clearly, you can get there, and he does a great job with all those things.
Jessica, we're hopeful of getting Coach Whipple to come. He's not been with us here on Sports Island yet. We're hoping to get him in the next week or two, hoping to get him before they start spring ball on the 28th. But I can't wait to sit down and pick his brain a little bit.
I know. And I just so many of the guys that are coming in have talked about how excited they are, because even though Whipple is, for as much as guys are now picking places because of their relationships that they have with coaches, and even though Whipple might be a little bit of an older guy, the proof is in the pudding. And it's what his offenses have done, and the award winners and the Heismans and the Bolitnikoffs and the numbers in itself. Those offensive players are excited to play for that, and they believe in that. And so just kind of getting to see how he works with the players and how they respond to him on the field, too. I can't wait to see that in spring ball.
Now, the one addition to the staff that Coach had not talked about until today was the running backs coach, Brian Applewhite, again, who came from TCU. He's part of Gary Patterson's staff. Gary Patterson was let go, interestingly enough, by the Horned Frogs. He's now joined the Texas staff. And the coach was asked, do you have much history with Brian Applewhite, your new running backs coach?
Believe it or not, I didn't remember it, but Brian was at the same Big Red football school in 1992 that I was at. So we talked about that, staying at the dorm over here. I can't remember if we were Harper Schramm Smith or we were Abel Sandos, but staying in the dorm for 6 days and going to football camp. I've run into him several times at conventions and recruiting. Already really impressed with him, and I just think what Mickey and Brian are going to demand, and Donnie are going to demand out of the kids at their position, hopefully helps us a bunch.
What an amazing story that they're both in high school and they both go to a camp here in Nebraska. Sky even sort of remembers which dorm they stayed in, but they didn't really remember each other, but they were both at the same camp. How crazy is that?
What a small world.
Isn't it crazy?
Wow.
Good stuff there. And we had Coach Applewhite on a few weeks ago. He was so fun to talk to, and can't wait to get him on the program much more as we make our way through spring football. All right, the staff has really been busy the last several weeks recruiting. Recruiting now is over. We're now into a different phase of it. And I think a lot of our people kind of realize they hit Omaha really hard in the last several weeks. Mickey Joseph was up there. Barrett Root has obviously recruited Omaha for years. Here's the coach when he was asked, are you putting more emphasis on that town maybe now more than you were earlier on in your tenure here at Nebraska?
It's been tough, especially with COVID, because we haven't had a chance to get around Nebraska coaches as much as we want to. And some of those relationships need our attention, and having a lot of guys in Nebraska. The first day we went out, we sent our whole coaching staff out in Nebraska, except for me because I had COVID. So we want Nebraska kids here, and obviously Mickey has a lot of relationships and people know him. Barrett has a lot of relationships and people know him, so those will be the primary Nebraska recruiters for us. There's a lot of talent, in my opinion, coming up in the state of Nebraska in the region, so that's where our attention's going to be.
You know, there's a perception out there, Jessica, right or wrong, but it's the perception that Nebraska has not done a good enough job locally. But he's right. For a year plus, I think it was 15 months, they couldn't go visit communities. They couldn't go out and get face-to-face in offices of that. And I think there was a disconnect. I think they know it, they realize it, and they're going to emphasize it.
And on top of that, they couldn't come here a lot, for a lot of the time too, which is a big selling point. Is getting those players here for all sports. And we heard a lot of the coaches talk about how hard that was when you couldn't get them here and experience the atmosphere and see the fan base and just take it all in. So but I think what you're kind of seeing with these new additions to the coaching staff is just the relationships, all these players that, have really locked in and have built these strong bonds with these coaches that they want to play for them. They want to come here and also play for them but be a part of Nebraska football. But, they just have these strong bonds with these coaches, which is huge in recruiting when you can build those types of relationships.
And we're hearing more and more positive things about Mickey Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much every day.
Absolutely. I mean, you see it all over the place, and it's just so genuine. And now he's got a guy playing for the Super Bowl, which I said was going to be big. I mean, these young recruits, I mean, you heard, if you missed the interview with DeColdis, but, he said that. I mean, Mickey Joseph coached arguably the best wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now. That, that sells, and they buy into that. And because that's where a lot of these kids want to go. I mean, not everybody will make it to the NFL, and it is about doing, taking care of your business and getting your degree, but ultimately that's your dream, that's your goal. And so you see a guy who has helped a guy get to where you want to go. That's massive in recruiting. And so now not only do you have, all these things, now you have a guy that's, hey, my guy won the Super Bowl. You want to come here? I'll help you get there. It's a huge selling point. And even though I don't think Mickey Joseph is a guy that sells himself much, he builds these relationships where he doesn't necessarily talk about football a lot, but you see that. These kids see that, and again, going back to the proof is in the pudding. When you got a guy that is doing what Jamar Chase is doing, that's a big sell.
And now he's playing for it all in a couple weeks. Great segue, because the coach was asked about his thoughts about Zach Taylor, former Husker quarterback, now the head coach of the Bengals, getting his team into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm excited for those guys, not just Zach, but Troy Walters is there, Stanley Morgan is there. You talk about three great people that are dedicated to the game. So I was watching the game intently, and sure thought the Chiefs were going to win it when they're up 21-3, but I couldn't be happier for Zach and Troy and Stanley. I got allegiance to the other team too. Raheem Morris is the D coordinator, and he's really the guy that got me into coaching. So I'll be watching and trying to root for all those guys, and it's going to be a fun game.
Good stuff there, and I keep forgetting about Stanley. Stanley playing on that Bengals team, doing a lot of special teams work there. It should be fun. I will put away my sulking part of the Chiefs not being in it and probably watch that game in a couple weeks. I'll stomach it and do it.
I told you I'm for the Bengals. I just didn't think that they could beat the Chiefs, but because they did, I mean, I said I was on the bandwagon from the start. I'm going to stay on their bandwagon.
Yeah. Should be fun. It'll be a great game. Always is. Commercials are worth watching. We'll watch the rappers do the halftime show, so it'll be fun. All right, there's some of the highlights of what the coach had to say today. Your thoughts, 402-413-2400. Call or text. You'll do that on our Sports Auto hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. More of the show coming up next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit Deto Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DetoSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com, one of our 19 dealerships, or a combination of both. It's that easy. Plus, offering the most wanted new makes and leading pre-owned models, your next vehicle is on the lot or on its way. Shop confidently with the Woodhouse team today. Serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? Well, they're even longer term than your sister's piano recital at church that time you drank a whole big cup of soda right before you left home and insisted to your mom that you didn't have to use the bathroom. We're talking that long-term.
Hi, it's Nick Luxinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-740-6445 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Trafix Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Husker women's basketball right back at it tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at PBA against Penn State. Pregame coverage begins at 6:45. The men are off until Saturday, noon tip-off. Love it. Saturday afternoon basketball at PBA. It's going to be great. The Northwestern Wildcats will be the opponent, noon, again at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You've got the Frank Savine Indoor Track and Field meet this weekend at the Devaney Center. Starts on Friday, gets going on also going on Saturday. Husker wrestling, big top 10 matchup with Michigan Friday night at 8 o'clock. And Husker men's gymnastics also home over the weekend as well. They'll take on Penn State Saturday night. So a lot of activities for you to go out and watch over the weekend. That's
a
what's
week
on
from
tap.
today, you'll be saying Diamond Sports start this weekend.
Softball.
Yep.
Softball in 9 days up in northern Iowa. They're going to play in the Unidome up there. They'll play 5 games that weekend. All right, 402-413-2400. Dennis on our text line. These new quarterbacks that are here, is there a certain amount of hours per week, or are they on their own? Can they throw to wide receivers? Is there a limit? I think they can kind of do some of that on their own.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like when you go in the gym and shoot. You can just get the keys to the gym and go shoot whenever you want. There's no...
And you think they're doing it?
I've seen them. Yeah, they're absolutely doing it. So, you can go in at any point. That the indoor is so nice, especially like days like today. But they can go if you want to quote unquote get some shots up, run some routes and throw some balls. And I saw Casey Thompson working out with a couple guys, and I know they're continuing to do it. And it's just such a big part of that because, as Jeremiah talked a lot about, this is when you get bigger, stronger, faster. But for those wide receivers and quarterbacks, in addition to that, you want to make sure you're building that chemistry, because once you get to spring ball, you're implementing an offense and you're going so fast that you want to make sure you're developing that timing, that rhythm, that chemistry right now when you can.
You mentioned the indoor facility. The Ball Bat Sports also use the Hawks Championship Center. Both Rhonda Revelle's team and Will Bolt's team also get in there and take ground balls and do that type of thing in there. It's a little bit. The Gordon is nice, but it's not big enough for them to do some of that, so they come over and use the Hawks. John in Omaha, do you happen to know if Coach Whipple was in the press box or on the sideline for Pitt? He was in the box, John, so that's where I would imagine he will be there as well. Doug in Norfolk, how far over the 85 scholarship limit are we right now? I don't know, Doug. It's so fluid because last week Jordan Riley entered the portal, left Nebraska's program. They got the 2 young men today. I think you can have 89 on scholarship as you go through spring ball. And Nebraska is not there now because some of these high school players, like the 2 that committed today or Emmett Johnson, they're not here.
They don't count yet.
So they don't count.
Yeah, so until they get here in the summer, you don't necessarily have to worry about all of that.
Doug, really the only thing you need to worry about is when they start practice in August or late July, whenever it is, they got to be at 85. So that's when they'll have to really work it out. But it will make itself out as well as they move their way through. All right, so they're handle a couple of text questions for you there. We went long on the last segment. Need to work a break in. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Still time for you to be a part of this one. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up hour 1 next.
Looking for a great Christmas gift idea? Look no further than expanding your loved one's Husker closet with an item from the new 255 collection, inspired by legendary coach Tom Osborne. With high quality at the forefront, 255 can be worn anywhere, from sporting events and business meetings to backyard get-togethers. No matter the occasion, 255 is about feeling confident, looking good, and celebrating the remarkable coaching career of Tom Osborne. Shop now at Huskers.com or participating retailers. For more information, visit Huskers.com/255.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
You could win a 2022 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2022 Porsche Macan if they make a putt on the court at halftime at one of 4 home men's basketball games this season. Each contestant will receive a pair of tickets, hospitality, and a visit with the broadcast team before one of the home games with Ohio State, Rutgers, Northwestern, or Iowa. For more information and the official rules, go to huskers.com/putt.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. A couple more minutes here left in hour number 1. Let's go to the phones. John in Lincoln's been hanging on. Good evening, John.
You know, I'm 77, and I've been going to basketball games since I've been 2. And I sure wouldn't buy a ticket to see the Rolling Stones if Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were sitting in a chair just beating on a tambourine. And that's just sort of where a bunch of our people my age are thinking. I haven't had basketball tickets for 2 years, and I have my football tickets, and I pay my stipend to get them. And if things don't change this year, we're just going to give them up. So I just do not feel – I feel right now each win that we've won this year has cost us $900,000. And I'm just – you can say improvement this or that, but I would never have thought that Nebraska would have a basketball program in their third year that's like this, let alone a fifth-year football program. And I just know that us old-timers have hung in there for years and years, and the younger people I know, and I say younger, in their 40s and early 50s, they're not going to hang around like us old-timers are. And I just wish that the press, and I mean radio and television and news and you know, computers, would be more objective about, you know, oh, they looked better, they had a good shot. The point is they're losing and they're not good, and the coaching isn't good. And why can't somebody get – I've heard some brave souls come on that are press people speak that out. But, you know, I just hope more of the press can come out and, you know, call it the way it is. I appreciate it, and I'll just listen. You have a good evening.
No, John, hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. You're right to be frustrated. We're all frustrated. Fred Hoiberg's frustrated. Trev Alberts is frustrated. We did not see this kind of a product being put on the floor for the Huskers. I simply said earlier in the hour, if you watched them a month ago to what you're seeing now, they are better. They've made improvement. It's not good enough to win yet. I think some wins are coming. But, yeah, we're all frustrated. I feel your frustration. I feel the same way.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not like the players and coaches aren't feeling frustrated either, but – you know, I do think that it's just hard to deny what the football team did a year ago, that they were so close, and that word I know is so frustrating, but there's a lot of momentum now, and so I just think you got to stick with them, and, you know, I think the good times are coming. I really, truly believe that with the momentum that this football team has right now.
Andrew in Norfolk on our text line said, why haven't they gotten any players on the defensive side of the ball? Well, Andrew, if you go back and look at the class that they signed in December, it was weighted more defense than offense. They've kind of caught up with some of the pickups that they've gotten in the last couple of weeks, particularly today with the two offensive guys. But if you go back and look at that, it was heavy linebackers and defensive backs.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the defensive line will probably maybe continue to be a goal in the transfer portal. You know, I don't think, as we've talked a lot about, the transfer portal additions are not done, and it'll continue to be a storyline leading into next football season across the country. But I think that's one area. But there are a lot of defensive backs added, the areas that, you know, they needed to add depth. So I think like you said, there are a lot of defensive backs that we talked about back in December.
All right, Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. I'm out of here. You got a full hour ahead, though.
Big show, big hour coming up next. A lot of stars coming out. We're going to celebrate the Husker ladies.
Fantastic. Looking forward to that. That's coming up next hour. Don't go away.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Drive bold, drive GMC. You never know what lies ahead, so trust the powerful and innovative features of the 2022 GMC Canyon, or elevate your driving experience with the driver-focused technologies and handcrafted materials in the 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Flu season is here, and you can get your flu shot now at your Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and you can schedule your appointment online. Just go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. This year, it's more important than ever to stay healthy. So go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy today to schedule your flu shot and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions may apply.
Welcome back to Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Sammy Hawk, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Men's basketball lost another close one to Michigan last night, but Bryce McGowens remains to be a bright spot with the team high of 24 points. McGowens is the first freshman in program history to record 4 games, consecutively scoring at least 20 points. Coming off a win last night over Rutgers, Alexis Markowski poured in a game high of 16 points and a career high of 15 rebounds. The Huskers will look to close out a 4-game homestand, hosting Penn State tomorrow night at 7 o'clock inside PBA. Coming up, you'll hear from Jazz Shelley and Sam Hybe as they will be joining us live in studio. Happy National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. As a female student athlete here at Nebraska, just want to say thank you for all of your support. This should be a fun hour as we honor women's sports with some of your Husker favorites. And that's the Taker. I'm Sammy Hawk, and you're listening to Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Serving libero. Good pass, Huskers. The slide. Stivrins. Kaboom. 10-6.
Underneath. Delivers deep left side. Hybe with 2. At the buzzer. 3. You betcha! Off the assist from Jazz Shelley.
Moneymaker for Sammy, and Nebraska's got an 11-point lead.
Here are your hosts, Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
How about Sammy Hawk delivering the ticker right there? That is your goaltender for Nebraska women's soccer, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. She's helping us out here on the Huskers Radio Network this spring, so we are happy to have her. And she kicks off a very special hour here on Sports Nightly. It is National Girls and Women in Sports Day, a day that we honor all of those that came before, that helped pave the way, and also celebrate those that are currently doing big things in sports, and then those that will come after and do big things later on. And speaking of doing big things, there are a lot of ladies sports doing big things here at Nebraska, and Nebraska women's volleyball, one of those, no doubt about it, coming off a national runner-up finish. Lexi Rodriguez, man, what a freshman campaign she had, racking up the accolades. I mean, she is the AVCA National Freshman of the Year, the first libero in AVCA history to earn that freshman award. She was named a AVCA All-American. She'll have her picture up on the All-American wall out there at the Bob, and she's the 49th first team pick in program history, and she was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. So lots and lots of accolades, and we've got lots coming up on the show, but we're going to kick it off with the Freshman of the Year, Lexi Rodriguez.
Yeah, it was definitely a season to remember. I mean, I don't think, besides like ending the season with that win, I don't think like I could have thought of anything more perfect. And I think, like, looking back, I'm just, like, super proud of the whole entire team, like, our run and, like, how we stuck together throughout the whole thing. So it was pretty amazing. Still stings a little bit when you think about it, but, yeah, it was awesome.
All of the accolades that you racked up, I mean, you know, just the list is so lengthy. Do any of them kind of stand out to you, mean anything special to you? I mean, I know you're a team person, but do any of the awards, the accolades that you kind of got this year, any of them stick out more than the other?
I don't know. I think maybe just like the Big Ten, like defensive one, just because like I think that just showed like was a reflection of how our team played. Like it wasn't just me who got that. Like it was Kenzie, Nick, and Kaylee. Like all of us together kind of worked hard to like show that defense like as a whole. And so I think that one's pretty cool. And just like because I don't feel like that one was just like my award.
What do you think kind of enabled you to have such a big as big of an impact as you did your freshman season, and allowed you to do the things that no other freshmen have been able to do?
I think just the trust that my teammates put like in me, because like without them I wouldn't have had the confidence or like just the freedom to kind of play how I did. So like I think they really helped me a lot, and every single time I went out there I knew they all had my back, and good game or bad game, like we were gonna work together and play like as one. So yeah,
obviously this team in this program is right there and in the talks of competing for a national title every single year, but each team is different. When you look back at what you guys did as a freshman and now as you move into a sophomore, what's kind of the biggest thing that you learned as a freshman that you want to make sure that you help instill in teams that you are a part of in the future?
I think the biggest thing would just be that it's a really long season, and like I think for me, I want to really help the freshmen that come in each year, because the seniors and the upperclassmen like really help me like kind of mentally, emotionally fit everything just like that. It's a really long season. There's going to be ups and downs, but like we're a team. We're going to play with like trust in each other, and like at the end of the season, like it'll show, like it'll be the difference between like how we finish the season and how like other teams finish.
You talked about Nicklin Hames earlier. We had her on a podcast recently, and she raved about you. You two seem to really feed off of each other, but the way that she kind of accepted a different role but wants to come back, I mean, what does that say about her and just her role in this team, that she's willing to do anything and everything, even if it means like sitting on the bench and cheering her butt off, as what she said? That's a quote.
Yeah, I mean, she's done so much for this program. She was a great teammate, great leader. She taught all of us freshmen and probably so many people so much, like just about this program. So I think that she's just coming back just to provide whatever is needed for the team is pretty amazing.
You're probably not surprised she's going to be a coach. How do you think, what kind of coach do you think she's going to be?
I think she'll be a great coach. I mean, her like IQ in volleyball is so high, and her leadership abilities are like amazing. So yeah, she's going to get up there for coaching for sure.
Okay, for those of us that will never have a day named after us, what is it like to have Lexi Rodriguez Day?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, my town, it's not very big, so the things they do for me are pretty special. But yeah, it kind of threw me off guard too, because I wasn't expecting that.
How did you become the type of person, the player that you are, where, again, every single teammate that I've talked to throughout the season talked about how you never cease to wow them and some of the plays you were able to make. What did it take to get to that point where you can make some of those plays that a lot of people can't make? What did you do growing up that made you what you are, that you were able to make some of those incredible plays on the court?
I think it was just like I took lots and lots of reps, and I was willing to fail and try new things to like get to a point where I was able to do things like consistently. And I mean, a lot of training, a lot of extra hours, but I think a majority of it was just coaching and teammates. Like they all kind of allowed me to like embrace my role, which allowed me to have more confidence in myself and all that. So.
Well, it's National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and we're kind of celebrating, some women in the past, and also, the Husker players, females that are here right now. But do you have a woman, a female athlete, or in your sport that you really looked up to that maybe inspired you when you were a little girl?
Someone who really inspired me was Misty May. She was a beach player, and I think I grew up watching her. I grew up watching like more beach than like indoor volleyball, so just watching her defensive like abilities, and like people would like talk about how just like amazing she was at defense, and like being a smaller hitter, like I don't know, she's just someone who I always looked up to. And so yeah.
Lauren Cook said that, by the way. Well, yeah, just last night she told us that was her person that she was inspired to. Speaking of beach, are you excited about playing a little beach now?
Yes, I finally get to show what I can do, so yeah, it should be fun.
And then just, again, as we celebrate this day, what would be your message, your advice to maybe a little girl that's looking up to you or maybe listening and want to know, how do I maybe do what Lexi Rodriguez does one day?
I would just say to, like, believe in your dreams, like, continue to work hard, and, like, don't be afraid to fail. There's going to be some ups and downs, but just stick with it and always believe in yourself.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you.
We are just getting started here on this special hour of Sports Nightly as we honor National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Hit us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, 402-413-2400. You're going to want to get those texts and calls in, because joining us live in studio, Jazz Shelley, Sam Hybe. Also, who's a woman that inspired you in sports? We want to hear all about it. So you want to keep it right here and hit us up on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Sam and Jazz up next.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery.
Hey, Bud Light!
I'm ready!
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huskers fans, it's time to plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Single game tickets are on sale now at huskers.com/Ireland. Start the 2022 season in the best way. Plan your dream trip to Ireland and see your team face the Northwestern Wildcats at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Buy your single game ticket today at huskers.com/Ireland.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Step into the new year with a new Chevy. Discover the 2022 Traverse, Blazer, or Equinox. The Chevy SUV lineup brings more than looks to the table. Our SUVs come equipped with Chevy Safety Assist, so you can look and feel confident while driving. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase through our streamlined process. Find new roads and explore all our new inventory arriving daily at woodhousegm.com and at our dealership in Missouri Valley, Iowa.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
If your business communication slows down, your business slows down. Kidwell can help. Kidwell streamlines your company's communications with phone systems that work the way you work, in the office or on the road. Kidwell systems provide the unified communications features your users demand, like voicemail to email, instant messaging, and calendar integration. And Kidwell will be there providing training, service, and support to make sure you get the most out of your investment. Don't let communications problems slow down your business. Visit kidwellinc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Hi, my name is Audrey Coffey. I'm on the swim and dive team, and the woman who inspired me in sports growing up was my coach, Kristen. She coached me when I was about 9, and she taught me to really be resilient. I was going for this time, And I was really upset because I didn't make it on this one race, and I was crying because I was 9 years old, and she told me to keep my head up, and I had more chances, and I eventually got it. So.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. A special hour of Sports Nightly as we are honoring our ladies here at Nebraska on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And a treat for you guys is joining us live in studio from Nebraska women's basketball, Sam Hybe and Jazz Shelley. Well, ladies, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
You guys have played a lot of basketball recently. How you feeling? Are you tired? Is it a fun stretch, or you guys need a little bit of a breather after tomorrow?
It's a fun stretch. I mean, winning is always fun, so it's been nice to get a few of those wins underneath our belt. Obviously, a little fatigued. School starting back up, a lot of games, but no, we're excited, and we have some really exciting games coming up, so it's always good and fun. You guys have a lot of depth, so how much is that kind of helping right now in the stretch that you have a lot of people? You're not necessarily playing like a ton of minutes every single night.
Yeah, definitely as compared to last season when we were down to like 7 or 8 players. Having a lot of people on the bench that are able to kind of save legs whenever we can is very nice to have, especially when we're playing this amount of games in a short amount of time.
So you guys had an incredible start to the season, and then we're battling in Big Ten, and then had a little bit of a pause. Do you feel like you're maybe getting back to where you were before you had to kind of take a break for the COVID protocols?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, COVID hit hard. It was a little weird situation having players in and out and never knowing who was going to be at practice, because you get a phone call or a text message the next morning, guys, I got it. So it was hard, but I mean, I think it's good that we went through that little patch, a little bit of adversity with a few tough losses, but I think we're back on our feet, and those wins are really helping us right now with our confidence, and we're getting back into a routine, which is fun.
Sam, how much fun is this team to be a part of?
A lot of fun. It's very fun. There's never a dull moment. Even just going into practice can kind of be a drag. Stuff you do every day, you get into a routine, but there's always something different going on in the locker room that day or on the court to kind of bring energy and lighten things up. So it's been very fun.
Why do you think you guys get along so well? Why does this team mesh so well together?
A lot of it definitely has to do with off the court. We hang out as a team a ton, especially in the summer, even if it's not just with your roommates, but just kind of inviting everyone out, team over, just asking to do random things, hanging out and stuff like that.
What's been your perspective coming in and being a part of this team and how close-knit they are?
I already knew before coming in here how close these girls were. It's actually incredible to experience it for myself now. I think it's awesome that they have, we all have the common goal. We want to win. I mean, all these athletes on this team are driven. They all have the same interests. Like Sam said, I've never been involved with a team that hangs out so much off the court, and that really resembles on the chemistry they have on the court. So that's just been super fun to be a part of.
Joined by Jazz Shelley and Sam Hybe of Nebraska women's basketball. Sam, we've had Jazz in, and she was talking about, when she came in and how accepting you were and how important that was to her feeling comfortable. Can you kind of take us back to when she decided to transfer here and why it was important for you to kind of be so open and welcoming to her?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised she said those words about me, if I'm being honest, but it's good to hear that now, Jazz. Thank you. But no, obviously she's been friends with Izzy for a long time, and I lived with Izzy when we were trying to get Jazz back here, but obviously very excited and grateful when she decided to come to Nebraska. I was actually here when she was on her visit the first time, so I kind of knew who she was, knew that she was a really good player. So when she had said that she was going back into the transfer portal, we definitely wanted to get her back in Lincoln.
I mean, you guys kind of both play point guard, kind of both do a lot of different things. So why did you kind of feel it was important to kind of, because some, star players could be like, this is my team and this is what I do. But why did you kind of allow her to kind of do what she does and kind of, you guys feed off of each other and work so well together? Why was that important for you?
Yeah, I think we kind of just thought that Jazz might have been that missing piece that we needed. Obviously, Ashley's a very good three-point shooter, but just being able to have two of those weapons on either side of the court at all times is going to help the team as a whole, but also help me with those driving lanes and stuff. So, yeah, we definitely wanted Jazz back here.
How big was that for her to kind of, accept you the way that she did and kind of help you? You guys are laughing. You can tell you guys really like each other, even though you're kind of giving each other a hard time. But for you to be so, for her to be so open and welcoming and for what you could bring to this team.
It's huge. I mean, you don't see it a lot in sports, having someone as talented as Sam is to be so welcoming of other people. But that comes down to her personality and the way she loves to compete. I mean, she wants to win as bad as anyone else here. So she knew that there was some things that need to be changed from last year. I mean, she had such a big workload last year doing everything for the team. So it's nice to relieve some pressure off of her and for her to be so accepting of me and my talents and what I can provide for the team. And it's also, I think it's benefited the both of each other, the attitudes that we have towards this, because like you said, we feed off of each other. And it's really nice to have Sam down the floor. I can feed her, and then, I'm going to get it back in return. It's actually a really good cohesiveness that we have, and it's fun.
Yeah, you'd think you guys have been playing together for years. I mean, the way you find each other, I mean, you find her, she finds you. It's fun to see, and even you throw in Ashley. There's a lot of good passers on this team, but for you to kind of starts with you guys, how you kind of find each other, that's got to be fun to be a part of that.
Definitely. And just knowing, like she had said, if you give the ball up, you're definitely going to get it back. We're averaging a lot of assists per game as a team. So that's probably the main point that's really fun to be around on this team.
How do you balance being too unselfish at times, because you sometimes defer but you step up when you need to, but how do you kind of balance and know when this team needs a big play?
It's tough at times. You definitely have to have a feel for the game, but coaches always say, like, be aggressive. First option is always to score. So just trying to make those right reads, and it comes with obviously playing time and experience, and I think everyone will develop it. But the fact that our problem is sharing the ball too much, I think is a good thing.
How would you describe her ability to kind of take over at times when you guys need a big play?
It's frustrating because Sam can go 3 quarters without even looking for her own shot, and then Sam's going to turn it on in the 4th quarter, which is frustrating because she could have done that the whole game. But it's good, though, because she has such a good basketball IQ. She has a feel for the game to know when her team needs her. Like, at the start of the game, like, we might need her to facilitate because she's heavily guarded, but that, okay, now my team needs me to score, she's going to turn up and be there.
Well, it's National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and I worked on a video that kind of came out today that's on social media, but the support you guys have is just unmatched. It's just really incredible to see, and all those little girls. How special is it for you guys to be in that position where you can inspire so many young players to love basketball and love Nebraska basketball?
Yeah, it's been incredible and very, very special just to see the smiles on their faces when you come out of the tunnel after the game. And I know, like, everyone has their why and why they're doing the things that they are, but I think for us as a team, I can say that that's definitely up there with one of the best feelings, is seeing that video, seeing the girls after, and how excited and happy they are to see us.
And there was a special Twitter video that came out. A little girl, it was her birthday, and you surprised her, and then she was crying because she got a video from you, and then you actually got to go talk to her after the game. That had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Her mom had reached out and asked if I'd wish her a happy 11th birthday. Her name is MJ. So I was like, of course I can do that. It's not too hard for me, and I know she'd really appreciate it. And then I actually reached back out to her and asked if I could meet her after the game, and she was like, oh my gosh, the girls would love that, and her team was there too. So then I brought Jazz out with me, and they absolutely loved it, but it was really cool to see their reactions.
Jazz, how awesome is it for you? I mean, you're new here, and when I was going around asking everybody, I mean, there were a lot of little girls who's your favorite player? Jazz Shelley. How special is that for you to be somebody's favorite player?
It's incredible. I mean, it's such like a humbling feeling, and this is why we play the game, like to have these little girls look up to us, and the way that our team plays the game of basketball, it's really special to be recognized, and these girls understand the us being able to play together and be so humbling and stuff. It's actually very good qualities to look up to, and I mean, when I was younger, I wish that I had a team like that I could aspire to be, especially these girls growing up in Nebraska, and us having girls on our team from Nebraska, seeing, wow, I can do just that, is a really cool feeling also.
Yeah, that is one thing these little girls, I mean, all ages pick out about this team is how well you guys play together and how much you support each other. So we're going to transition that to the bench mob. They've really taken off here recently, and you guys even step in and fill in. I know, Sam, you've played a part on the bench mob as well. Have we seen yet the best of the bench mob? I mean, how much fun is that to have that support on the bench over there?
It's awesome. I know, like, watching them back after the game, and we're all kind of on our phones, like, looking at it. It's super cool, super funny to see what they come up with. But Whitney and Kendall and Ruby and them, they've kind of been the leaders of that, and they're doing a great job. definitely seen some great ones so far. Like the bicycle was pretty cool, but I'm sure they have more up their sleeve going forward.
Does the mob boss Whitney, does she say, hey, you guys need to make some more threes? We got some celebrations we need to get to.
She definitely does. She'll have some ready and like a shot will rim out and she's like, oh, we were waiting for it. We had it ready to go. But no, she's fun about it.
So how does it work? Like you come over and she immediately, hey, on the next made three, this is what we're doing. Like how does the instruction process work for her?
Yeah, for me, just because I'm kind of in and out all the time, it'll just kind of be like in the moment, like, hey, do you want to do this cheer it when they make a three? And I'll agree. But I'm sure like beginning of the games, they probably have it planned out a little more better than that.
So I've been asking people as a part of today, favorite, woman athlete growing up, a woman in sports that inspired you. Who were you inspired by when you were a little girl, Jess?
When I grew up, Penny Taylor played for my hometown. So I grew up watching her, going to all of her games, and she was in her prime when I was a young kid looking up to her. So she's definitely someone I aspired to be because she hustles on the floor. She is just such a hard-working player, and she was a really cool person to look up to.
What about you?
For me, I guess being from Minnesota, I was a huge Maya Moore fan, Lindsay Whalen fan. Watching those two battle on the court, especially in my home state, was pretty cool to witness.
Well, we've seen just the growth in all across women's sports. I mean, you see records being broken on TV and attendance and all of that. And as momentum continues to grow and people continue to get interested in what you guys are doing, how important is that support to continue to grow for this team?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, we thank the people that came before us to kind of get this going. But as much as we can do to continue down this path and all the advocates we have in professional sports, even on the men's side, is going to be really good for our sport going forward.
Got anything to add to that?
Yeah, very thankful for the people that paved the way, and now we get to live this dream of us having little kids come to our games and all these little girls doing just what they wish that we could do. So it's incredible to have that support, and thankful for everyone before us.
Well, ladies, thank you so much. I know it's a busy time and you guys are tired, but I appreciate you guys coming in, and good luck tomorrow. And Husker fans, get out there and watch them. They are fun to watch, and you're missing out if you haven't been to PBA and seen them play in person. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, and again, if you want to be a part of the show, hit us up on our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline. Brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplify car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline, and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
Is your business's data cabling outdated? Do you need help with fiber optic cabling projects? Give Kidwell a call. Kidwell doesn't just help you handle today's demands, they help you see beyond, making sure that every component works in unison to meet the demands of your growing business. Kidwell keeps your connections clearly labeled and organized, maximizes performance, and saves time when any maintenance or service is needed. Don't settle for patchwork quick fixes. Make Kidwell your technology partner. Visit KidwellInc.com. That's KidwellInc.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Hi, my name is Audrey Coffey. I'm on the swim and dive team, and the woman who inspired me in sports growing up was my coach, Kristen. She coached me when I was about 9, and she taught me to really be resilient. I was going for this time, and I was really upset because I didn't make it on this one race, and I was crying because I was 9 years old, and she told me to keep my head up, and I had more chances, and I eventually got it. So.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. On this very special National Girls and Women in Sports Day, a ladies' hour here on Sports Nightly. So, of course, we had to bring in one of the queens of college softball, Rhonda Revelle. You are 8 days away from kicking off the 2022 season. How's it been going for you guys?
We are 8 days away. It's been going really well. And, you know, it's hard to know how it'll all translate on the field from practice, but here's what I'll tell you, and this is what I've been telling everybody. When you have a team where you're not coaching effort and you're getting to spend all of your energy on focusing on getting better and being strategic about how you're going to advance your team and attack an opponent, it's pretty good run there.
No doubt about it. You had a pretty young team last year, had a lot of young players, and especially in a weird year with COVID. Does it feel like this team's a little bit older, more experienced, kind of more that they know what they're doing a little bit going into this season?
It really does. And the other thing that's, you know, we have a very small freshman class, so very few have had to integrate. So it's really just been continuing on. And, you know, they did a lot of work this summer together as a team, and our captains really driving that ship. And so I feel like it's just been, I felt like towards the end of last year we were really starting to build, and that build has continued.
That's awesome. So let's start pitching in the circle. Is it, you know, when we talked to you in the fall, it was going to be a pitch by committee type of thing. Courtney Wallace back again. You got a lot of experience in the circle. How have you seen it this off season leading into the season? Is it still kind of on the same trajectory where you're going to call in a lot of different arms?
You know, we are going to call in a lot of different arms, but I don't know if it's so much of pitch by committee as pitch by strategy. You know, so you're going to see Kaylin Kinney, you're going to see Courtney Wallace, as you mentioned, and Olivia Farrell getting a lion's share of our innings, but we may intentionally do 2 pitchers or 3 pitchers a game just so we can give a different look. The hitters have gotten so good in our game that we're really, in the sport of softball, are getting more baseball-like in how we use our pitching staffs.
Let's talk about your hitting lineup now. How has that kind of developed, and who you kind of looking to maybe fill that hitting spot of Tristan Edwards that, as Maddie Fowler has been here and talked about, that's kind of a big key, is who's going to fill that role.
Yeah. You know, I think when you have a offensive threat, the magnitude of a Tristan Edwards, you don't replace him. Other people just step up their game and just do their part. And so because we don't have a lot of young hitters, our hitters have become more mature, so we really anticipate several of them being able to contribute at a higher level this year. So throughout the lineup, you know, if everybody can contribute at a little higher level, it'll fill in for hopefully what Tristan was able to do for us offensively.
Visiting with Nebraska softball head coach Rhonda Revelle, what about Billie Andrews coming off a freshman year that she had, an all Big Ten, and, you know, coming out of the gate so hot, and then how do you manage those expectations? I'm sure a lot of people maybe expect her to have another big year as a sophomore, so how do you kind of build on that and manage those types of expectations?
Great question that you ask, because I think a lot of times people don't understand that when you have such a successful freshman year, and, you know, of course, in our heart, she was the freshman of the year in the conference, but, you know, she was first team all Big Ten as a shortstop, which is no small feat right there as a freshman. But I think a lot of times when you have success that early, the pressure that puts on a young person to not only repeat, but even do better, when they're still just really getting their student-athlete legs under them and building their foundation. So I would say Billie is very competitive. She's a very hard worker. She's not only an excellent softball player, she's also equally as excellent in the classroom. So she has high expectations all the way through. I would say the biggest work that we've done, and specifically Diane Miller as her hitting coach, is working to help her manage what's going on internally and how to really have some tools to stay present in the moment. And we're not in last year. We're not going to get too far ahead. We're going to play this game right in front of us.
What about just the rest of the lineup? Do you feel pretty set on it? Is it still a work in progress? I mean, what's that like right now?
So we feel pretty set on our infield. I think that we've got a lot of competition that's exciting in the outfield going on. And the reason that it's exciting is because people are performing at a high level. We've got Sid Gray back from her ACL surgery, and she's doing what she does at third base. We have moved Brooke Andrews to the outfield. She's looking pretty darn incredible out there.
She had a great fall, right?
Yeah, she had a great fall. Well, she was our leading hitter in the fall, so you have that kind of offense. It's like, okay, we have 2 really good offensive people that play third base really well. What are our options? And Brooke, you know, we've put her in the outfield, and she just seems so natural out there. So, you know, you can bet you're going to see some Brooke Andrews in the outfield. Maya Felder has really anchored first base as our grad transfer, and we talked about her last time I was with you. And so it's, you know, it's almost set. I think the thing that probably, Jessica, that it will alter a little bit is the middle to bottom of our lineup, how we fall in there.
Is there any names that have really impressed you, maybe really kind of came out and competed and fought and maybe have jumped out at you that maybe not necessarily you didn't expect, but have really impressed you this spring?
I think it's been more that the growth. So it's not like it surprised me, but I've seen great growth. Let's take Sid Gray, for instance. Here she's coming off an ACL, and she's coming back, and it looks like she hasn't missed a beat.
Wow.
That takes a lot of effort.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of different areas. And then Brooke Andrews, we just talked about her. She is the epitome of a great teammate and a great person to have on your team, because she's basically embraced whatever the team needs. And we bounce her around at practice. She's here at third base. She's there in the outfield. And she's just like, okay. And whenever we move her, she's still performing at such a high level. And so to have that, it just really feels great. And then our middle infield, is really, they're really set on rolling some double plays for us with Billy Andrews and Cam Ybarra. And so I just see a lot of good things. There's a lot of good energy. There's good chemistry to this team. That's always a factor. As you roll down through the season, you look back and you go, how many games were we able to pull out because the chemistry was good? And there's usually always a handful.
So I don't know if we'll be able to have you on again before you kick things off in the season opener. What are you kind of looking for in the first weekend as you guys head up to Iowa?
The first weekend gives us a great opportunity because of our 5 games, 3 of those teams, South Dakota State, Northern Iowa, and Iowa State, were all in postseason last year. So it's not only going to give us a great benchmark of where we are, it's going to give us an opportunity to really leap this program to that next level that we're searching and intentful on reaching. And then the other 2 games, Omaha they've got a very good pitcher, and then also Drake has always played tough. So I think we've got a great opportunity ahead of us to go against some competition that if we're able to come out on the right side of the scoreboard, it's going to really give us a boost in our confidence.
I can't wait. I love softball season, but I have to go back and talk, since it's National Girls and Women in Sports Day. I mean, you've been around the sport for a long time. You were in the very first Women's College World Series. When you played in that thing, would you have ever imagined where the sport would grow and go to where it is today?
No. When I played, I was actually thinking about this just the other day, and when I was able to play, I was just so grateful that we played. It didn't even matter if anybody was in the stands, so nobody was even talking about expansion of a stadium because there weren't any stadiums.
Wow.
You were just grateful to be able to have the opportunity, because I'm also of the age that I wasn't even able to play on a girls' team until I was 12 years old, even though as a 6-year-old I was ready to go to T-ball or something, and I had to wait. And so just being the fact that we had an opportunity, and then you see it grow, and now I see the young women that are asking for more, and in some cases demanding more, and rightfully so. It's this next generation. It's going to be so thrilling to see how far they can even help move the needle. We've done a lot of great things. We've had in the last 50 years of Title IX, we've moved the needle a lot, but there's more out there, and that's for the younger ones that can take that baton and say, you know what, we're gonna make something happen here.
I mean, how important is that to continue to kind of pave the way? Just, you see all the little girls that come to games of all these sports, just to continue to kind of help pave the way for them so that it's even better when they get up to play here, hopefully.
Really important. Not only important to pave the way in the future and in the present, but to understand why we are positioned so well from a historical perspective. And I'll go back to Dr. Barbara Hibner, who was and is my greatest professional mentor. And one of the reasons that she was so good at what she did is she never took no for an answer. Now, there were times that she would ruffle feathers. She always said, Rhonda, pick your battles. Okay, pick your battles, because if you're picking the wrong battles, you won't win the war. And for her, the war was really moving the needle for women and opportunities and equal resources and all kind of things. But yet the other thing that she did so well, and that we can all take a page out of her wisdom, is that she was willing to roll up her sleeves herself and volleyball, put out the chairs, or go knocking on doors asking for donations because they wanted to print media guides, or when softball needed lights, call after call, cold calls, so she could raise, I think it was $100,000, so we could put lights over at our old field at Mabel Lee Hall.
Wow.
So doesn't matter what your title is, willing to do the work and feeling responsible, feeling a responsibility, a gratefulness of what we've gotten to experience where we are now, but a responsibility to make it better for the next group that comes along.
You talked about earlier, just when you started, there wasn't a women's team a girls team that you could play on until you were 12 years old. But nowadays there's so many female athletes that young girls can look up to, be as role models. But was there a woman that you really looked up to that inspired you when you were a young athlete growing up?
So here's the funny thing. The first athlete that I followed was John Brody, who was the quarterback for the 49ers. That's why I wore number 12, because there wasn't.
Right.
And then there was the Battle of the Sexes, tennis. I never played a day of tennis in my life, and it was Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs. And all of a sudden, on television, here's a female. And not only is she competing, but she's competing on television against a male, and she wins.
That's incredible.
And I don't think it was rigged.
No.
And then Adidas came out with a shoe, the BJK, and I wore them all the time, even though I never played a day of tennis.
That's
so
incredible.
then John Brody was kind of put to the side, and it was all about Billie Jean King.
That's amazing. Wow, what a story. Well, so many things we could talk to you about, but we appreciate your time. It's a special day, I know, as we kick off the 50th anniversary, or the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Title IX, which you've been a huge part of the growth of women's sports. So we appreciate you taking some time and cannot wait for the 2022 season to get underway next weekend.
Thanks, Jessica.
All right, that is Rhonda Revelle with Nebraska softball. Keep it here. We've got to wrap up this show, this very special show coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
My name's Nicole Hansen. I'm on the women's golf team, and growing up, Michelle Wee has always been a huge inspiration. She's just been really passionate and always just around, and she's just done a really good job at making sure that others know about women's golf, and I just really loved her story and everything she did for women's golf, and to this day she's one of the top players in the world. So
from vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Attention anyone standing near a mud puddle. Trucks and Bucks is back, so take cover. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game is roaring down the road again. And this year we're giving away 8 blue 2022 Ford F-150 XLT Super Crew Flex Fuel trucks. So buy a $2 Trucks and Bucks ticket today. You could win a new Ford F-150 and make a real splash in your neighborhood. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
A shield against the elements. Comfort in the midst of chaos. Shelter in the aftermath of destruction. For 75 years, Shelter Insurance has remained true to our promise to be there when you need us most. This is the heartbeat of our company, our why. Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life.
See Shelter Agent Tanya Blaine in Norfolk and get the insurance coverage you need at the right price.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Gymnastics team, and someone that inspired me was my great-grandmother. She was in the 1932 Olympics, and that was only the second Olympics that female athletes could compete in her sport.
Wow, that's awesome. How important how important is it for you to inspire young athletes?
I think it's super important. She's one of the people that inspired me because of how she was able to compete and all that, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps, and being able to hopefully inspire younger girls to do the same thing is really important.
That is awesome. Love hearing from all of our Husker women student athletes on the women that inspired them on this National Girls and Women in Sports Day. I'm Jessica Coody. Final segment here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I've said it since I've gotten here, and I'll keep saying it. Just the support here for women's sports is just unmatched, and it is awesome to see the support that Husker Nation, the way they show out and show up for these ladies. And yeah, they've got some exciting things that are happening right now with our women's athletics teams, and women's basketball, one of those. And they are on a 3-game winning streak. They're going to wrap up a 4-game homestand coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock against Penn State. If you haven't seen them yet, get to the PBA and watch these women. They are incredible to watch. They're going to have exciting things to come. It's going to be no doubt a tournament team. They're still one of the top teams in the net rankings, which is what the NCAA selection committee looks at when they're determining the seeding for the NCAA tournament. So it still have some work to do, obviously not completely wrapped up yet, but they have a lot of big things ahead. Last home game here before they'll hit the road for a little bit. So 7 o'clock Thursday, tomorrow night, against Penn State. Penn State 3-7 on the year. So should be another opportunity to get in the win column. Got to protect that home court for Nebraska women's basketball. So coming up tomorrow with a 7 o'clock tip, we'll have a shortened show here on Sports Nightly. We'll go to about 6:45, and then we'll hand things off to Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch to be on the call for that one. Appreciate all the ladies that were involved in this one tonight. I mean, how about Sammy Hauk, the goaltender for Nebraska soccer, who has stepped in. She has just joined our team here on the Huskers Radio Network. She's been with us here for about a couple weeks now, and boy, she has just dove right in. You can tell she is a student athlete that is used to being a go-getter, because she has helped out a ton. And when I asked her to be a part of this tonight, boy, she was all about it. Whatever she could do to help. She did the ticker. She did those interviews, as you heard, as well as Molly Robinson, who has joined our team as well. She is a Scarlet. So we are glad to have those women here as a part of our team, and important to continue to have women's voices as we grow the Huskers Radio Network. We are excited to have them. Rhonda Revelle, always a pleasure. We have more from her. If you want to hear more from Rhonda, that was a shortened version of the interview, so you can check it out on the Huskers Radio Network podcast page. You can hear much more from her and more from Lexi Rodriguez as well. If you missed that in the first segment or want to hear more from her, boy, she is awesome. Also want to make sure and let you guys know that there is some awesome content out on social media right now. I got to see a little bit of the filming of the Nebraska Volleyball National Girls and Women in Sports Day video that is up right now. And it is, get your tissue ready. It's very moving and touching. Nick Burkhart did an awesome job with that, fantastic job, and you'll want to check that out. It's just so special to see all these young girls that are being inspired by these athletes here at the University of Nebraska. You never know who's sitting up in the stands. Maybe there's the next Alexis Markowski or Allison Widener, or look at all the Nebraska kids that are playing for the Nebraska volleyball team. Maybe the next Lindsey Krause. I mean, all of the incredible student athletes that have come here in the state of Nebraska. You never know which little girl is going to be next, and they do such a good job of taking the time and going out and signing autographs. I mean, when Alexis Markowski came out of the tunnel last night, you would have thought she was Beyonce with the celebration she got and all the autographs that all of them, they take the time and signed every autograph and talk to everyone that comes. So if you're there and you want to talk to them, make sure you go down there and spend some time with them, because they will definitely talk to your daughters. But appreciate you guys tuning in for this very special edition of Sports Nightly. Happy National Girls and Women in Sports Day, and thank you to all that were involved, and we'll talk to you tomorrow here on Sports Nightly.
413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Here is a before-winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple-pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list.